Hey guys, it's Rich here, and I'm from the Rich Mix. And obviously, you guys probably don't know, but this is our 20th time trying to film this episode. But we're still getting through it, getting it done. So I just want to say I've got a good friend of mine, Monty. I've known for a few years. He's another classic car freak, which we're both into old crazy Mercs. And but yeah. I'm really excited to have you on board. Thanks, Monty, for coming on board, my friend.
Thanks, Rich. I tell you what, we're not going to be defeated by technology.
I know,
We're going
that's
to
it.
win. We're going to
We're in,
look at us.
mate. 100%.
Uh,
Oh man, thanks so much for your patience. I really, really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Technology is great when it's working, but I
Yeah,
tell
I
you what,
know, 100%.
this why this why we got no hair left.
I know. And not only we both got like Mercedes in common, but we both got a business that's got Easy involved in it as well. Or Easy Training, and Monty's from Easy Agent. So we're both pretty easy people. But yeah, easygoing, mind you. That's it. Easygoing is the
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah. All right. So I've got a few little questions for you. So one of them is like, can you share a little bit about your journey, and how you actually got into the real estate industry? Like, was it, and what other things that you do prior to getting into real estate?
Look, all right. Oh, this could end up a very long story, but I'll try and keep it as short as possible.
Yeah.
Um, so I went down the traditional route. You finish school and your dad and it goes, oh, you got to go to uni, get an education, as they say. So I
Yeah.
did my engineering.
Yeah.
Then after that, just straight into my first job. I was into architecture, all the rest. But the interesting thing is, I started my first business at 18,
Yeah.
and we were importing bodybuilding clothes out of California.
Yeah. Wow.
It was a friend of Frank Zane's, who was one of the Mr. Olympias. And
Yeah.
anyway, long story short, that led to a lifelong journey, I guess, of trying different businesses, and I always had that entrepreneurial thoughts of different challenges, and it was very seldom rotated around making money,
Yeah.
but there was always, everywhere you looked, there was business opportunities.
Yeah.
So back in the early 2000s, 2002, I had a small property portfolio, but then I bought a hotel, a resort up the North Beach, and it wasn't a good experience. The
Yeah.
selling agent was not great.
Yeah.
And then I found out that selling agent was the number one selling agent in Queensland.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just went, yeah, right. If that's number one,
Yeah.
I have to do this,
Yeah.
which is what I did. And so I got my real estate license, got into selling hotels and resorts,
Yeah.
very quickly become literally within 3 years,
Yeah.
became basically the premier agent selling all the $10-20 million businesses, resort businesses. And then down the track,
yourself or working? Was it your business at that time, or working?
I did, and this is again not traditional. I did 1 year, with a real estate company that was doing residential and commercial.
Yeah.
And I spent a year there, and just went, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I just, out of the blue, started my own agency.
Yeah.
And had to literally learn on the fly.
Yeah.
But
especially all the back office stuff and everything like that. All the process.
You know what?
Yeah.
And you can relate to this, Rich, and I think a lot of business owners can. You just, at some point, you've just got to, you don't wait till everything's lined up and it's the perfect timing, because there's never perfect timing. You just you dive in the deep end and you make it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Is what I've always done.
Yeah.
And have I made mistakes? My gosh, I could write books on the errors that I've made.
Don't worry, mate. Me too. We could have bestsellers. Bestsellers on mistakes made and crazy glasses. that we both wear.
Right?
Like
We
we've knocked
will
off
write
Elton John, you know?
we'll write the book, mate.
No, awesome. And so, okay, so going down the track now, obviously it's changed, evolved a fair bit into residential.
Yes, yes. And look, the primary focus of what we're doing now is because I love technology,
Mm.
especially when it's working.
Yeah,
But the primary motivation here is to actually help other agents uh, generate and create true wealth.
yeah,
So we created a really nice tech platform. The agents can use this. They leverage off the platform to generate and write all the business on their own.
yeah,
And it's proven quite successful and quite fruitful for the agents.
yeah,
And it's not like they're on their own. They can establish their own branding,
yeah,
but they're still supported by our team. So
yeah. No,
um,
and you created that back end support yourself, that
we
system?
did,
Yeah,
yeah,
fantastic.
100%. And
Yeah,
so we've built an academy site in the back end, which is um, literally, if somebody is new to the industry, it can take them from it's a full itemized training process or a process to follow, from how to market, how to set up their socials, how to set up their online presence, how
mm,
to do the prospecting, how to write everything from start all the way through to
yeah,
listing,
yeah,
running the open homes, getting the offers, getting the contracts. So everything is taken care of. If they
yeah.
just
That's awesome.
literally follow it from top to bottom, they can't go wrong. And then they just put it on rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and all they got to do is just focus on sales, get out there and get amongst people,
Exactly.
great opportunity.
Exactly. So they can
Yeah,
focus on what they do well, which is
yeah,
literally listing and selling.
yeah,
Our team, which is all cloud based, they can look after the contracts, the receipting, the process,
mm,
all the time um, uh, consuming items that the agents typically not good at, and most agents don't want to know about it.
yeah.
So we take that on for a very small fee. So it works out really well for them.
No, awesome. And I think a lot of people now they watch all these shows on Foxtel, you know, selling in New York. Oh, I got a fucking $30,000 commission on this one, 100,000 on this, and it's like they see that and they go, I want to get in. They don't realize it's hard work. You need to be a people person, first of
It's
all, and
look,
put in the hard yards to build those pipelines, isn't it?
yeah, you look at, like you say, the Netflix shows, Selling Sunset and that
Yeah, yeah.
out of California. Look, there's a lot of razzle dazzle in that show.
Mm,
Um, there's a lot behind the scenes that doesn't get told.
yeah,
But they're also targeting. It's like $1 Million Listing. It's another fantastic TV show. And I'll tell you the interesting story with the boys that started that whole $1 Million Listing. And it's interesting because you mentioned, it's a lot of hard work, but it's a contact industry, and
yeah,
a lot of agents get into real estate and they just think, you know what, I'll just get a suit and a nice big black shiny car, and all of a sudden I'm a real estate agent and I'll be writing, $500,000, $1 million a year. It's
yeah,
not like that. Now, the lads from $1 Million Listing, they were house flippers at the start. So they
yeah,
were buying property, they'd do the reno themselves, they'd flip it and make a profit, put it
yeah,
in their pocket and do it
yeah,
again. Then they worked their way up. So then they ended up flipping $1 million houses.
yeah,
And Josh said to his brother, well, I'm tired of giving the agents the commission. Why don't we do this ourselves, like get
mm,
our own license?
mm,
So they did that. And then they started thinking about, well, if I'm going to be working as an agent, I want to sell the big properties.
mm.
There's no point to selling,
The little
the
stuff.
petite.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He said, well, how am I going to do this? So what he did, he took his laptop and he went to Starbucks
hmm,
in Hollywood Hills,
yeah,
and he just sat there at Starbucks every day.
and knocked off their Wi-Fi.
Yes. But the nice thing is what happened was well, Hollywood celebs would stop there and get their coffees, right?
Yeah.
They'd be out walking their dogs, or they'd be coming back from whatever tennis or something in the morning in their big fancy cars, and they'd call in. Now he was sitting there every day with his laptop open, with some paperwork on the table, a couple of business cards, and he would pretend that he was working.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, it took him 3 months
Yeah.
before one of the celebrities, one of the Hollywood A-listers, actually approached him and said, "Oh, you're a real estate agent. Can you come and have a look at my place?"
Yeah. Awesome.
He sat there for 3 months doing nothing,
Yeah. Yeah.
pretending to work.
Pretending to work. That's cool.
Yeah. And then what happened is, over that 3 months, he built up trust,
Yeah.
because they felt that they could trust him because they saw him there every single day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that first place, and then the ball started rolling. It went
Yeah.
insane after that.
Yes. That's
So
awesome.
real estate, and I think is very similar to a lot of other businesses,
Yeah.
they will deal with you once they trust you. They
Yeah.
will list their property with you if they trust you, and they will give you an offer. They will buy a property off you when
Yeah.
they trust you.
Yeah.
So the business is all about trust.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And you got connection, and having that emotional connection with it. They like you and they trust you, mate. You've got them. And you not only got them, they'll recommend their family, friends, cousins, everyone,
Oh yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. And it's big in the real estate game. It's big. Yes.
yeah. No, that's awesome. So how do you differentiate easy agent compared to other agents out there? So it's really more for that entrepreneur type agent that has that back end support. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah.
And look, from the agent's perspective, we differentiate ourselves to a traditional office for the fact that they can establish their own persona out there in the marketplace. They have the flexibility and the freedom to take on listings. We don't designate and say you're only allowed to list property within this little small farm area that our franchise agreement allows.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we say you've got a license. If
Go
you can
crazy.
if you can support the listing,
Yeah.
which means if you can service it well,
Yeah.
correctly,
Yeah.
to the fullest that you need to, then take the listing on. If that
Yeah.
means you're going to drive 150 k's each way
Yeah.
because your client happens to live in the next town or next city,
Yeah.
but if you're prepared to do it, you go and do it.
Yeah.
Now, the beauty is, for our sellers and our buyers, is that it means real estate, traditionally, people follow people.
Mm.
They do not give a flying rat's what sign hangs above the door, what franchise sign. It honestly doesn't matter.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
what happens, Rich, is if Mr. Home Seller, he knows you, he goes, "I know Rich up at the Blue Mountains. He's good friends with my dad. He's blah, blah, blah. And I've known him since he was a little boy, and I can trust his word."
Yeah. I'll
Again,
give him a
comes back
bell.
to the top say,
Yeah.
they know they can trust you, hence they only want you to sell their property. And okay, you're based up in the Blue Mountains. If their property is for sale down at, I'm just saying, at Bondi,
Yeah.
okay, it's going to take you, 2 hours to get down there with all the
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
But, average property listing at Bondi is $4 million. You'll take the listing and you'll drive 2 hours each way.
Oh, you don't care. Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy knows that he'll give you the listing
Yeah.
because he knows that you're going to do your utmost in the marketplace to get him as much money as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, awesome. And I'm sure your leads would come from all different places. Like, obviously, you're a bit of a Merc freak like me. So going out to like car meets, and people know who you are and what you do. Both of us are pretty recognizable people. And people know what we do. So it's pretty easy getting those recommendations as well, and getting other clients from different type of niches, like, the car clubs and stuff, I presume.
And I actually did a short information video earlier today for some of the guys in the real estate game, and I spoke about the key driver in real estate. I said, to be a good real estate agent, this all comes down to one thing, and that's you have to be a good marketing person. And if you understand marketing, and you understand how to get a message out, and you understand how to connect with the audience better than the next agent,
Yeah.
you're going to get more traction. And so with all the social stuff, our podcast that we do, and all the other things that we do online, if you do it well, And it doesn't mean you have to spend, tens of thousands of dollars on equipment.
Mm.
No, I literally make a point of doing all my marketing off my mobile phone.
Yeah.
And it's just a raw, unedited. It is genuine or authentic. What you see is what you get. I talk it
Yeah.
on air exactly like I do in person. You can
That's it.
vouch for it.
There's no mucking about, mate. There's no messing around.
Well,
It's all
there's
this.
no point.
Yeah. Yeah.
If your online persona, you pretend to be one person, and then
Yeah.
they call you out to the house for an appraisal, and you're completely different,
Yeah.
you just instantly
Yeah. You look like
erode
a
any
goose.
trust that
Yeah.
you've built.
Yeah. 100%. I think that's really important. The people you see, and let everyone know here as well, the guy you see on he's a genuine character, definitely.
And
Um,
at the end of the day, I think no matter, and it's a motto I use in life, and the thing is, you can't please everyone, and we've all heard that a million times. But
yeah.
what the true meaning behind that for me, and especially in real estate, is regardless of the consequence, you just be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, being honest with this home seller means you're not going to get the listing because you're not pissing in his pocket, and you're not buying the listing, and you're not telling him it's worth more than what it really is.
Mm.
If that means you don't get the listing, that is actually a better way of going because your integrity stays intact.
Yeah. That's it.
And I've turned away more business listings than I've taken on,
Yeah.
because one thing I became very good at is sniffing out a completely cooked set of books.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
When they give me a P&L to sell, and I go, this
Yeah.
doesn't stack up, this is
Yeah.
not right,
Okay.
I say thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because I want that business owner to come back to me in 5 years' time when they hit their first short-term exit strategy, I
Yeah.
want them to come back and go, this has been a great business journey, and we've increased the net profit, whatever, 2, 3, 4, 500,000. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Can you now sell the business for me at, 2, 3, 4, 5 times goodwill multiple, and we're cashing in. We're buying a bigger business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I built my hotel and resort business on the back of, and it
Yeah.
was all integrity.
And now over that time frame, obviously when you first started out, a younger person to what you are now, there's been a massive mindset shift, you know what I mean, in the way you think. And as we all get older, we obviously do change we change rapidly, as we get older. So do you feel like that plays in your success, like achieving success in both like real estate and entrepreneurship? You think that mindset, what was there anything particular in that mindset, strategies or habits that contributed to your success?
I I honestly believe, um, not, how do I put this kindly? When I take on a listing, for
Mm.
me, I'm in 150%.
Mm.
So I take it on, no holes barred. So I have to be sure that my seller is as committed as I am.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
if they're not, I've worked out over the years that just don't. I have to be able to learn to walk away from business.
Yeah.
Not all business is good business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Definitely.
for me, that has been, when I was first started out and you're younger, you take everything on and you go for it, and enthusiasm, and and you close half of it and the other one's not. Yeah, and it didn't worry, you just keep going.
Yeah.
But you're expending a lot of energy and a lot of time on listings that weren't going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where I think as we get older, we get a little bit wiser
Yeah.
in
Definitely.
that regard.
So, the next question then. So, entrepreneurship obviously involves navigating a lot of challenges and setbacks. Can you share any significant challenges that you faced in through this journey, and how you overcame it?
Oh, there
Just
has been a lot, but I think there's been, I guess, two sides to this coin, to this
yeah.
question. One, obviously, is the journey with growing Easy Agent as a cloud-based agency and onboarding agents.
Mm.
there's always been a challenge where the traditional agent comes out of an office that they've always had a mindset of being told what to do. And when you go out to work for yourself,
Yeah.
and the beauty of Easy Agent, and they join because the agent keeps 100% of the commission that they write. They pay a small monthly fee to get access to the tech.
Yeah.
They pay a small fee to get the listing up live on the internet everywhere, and then a small fee again when
Yeah.
the property settles. So
Yeah.
there's a little clip at the start, little clip at the back.
Yeah.
But in essence, the agent has their own business, and
Yeah,
they
it is.
need,
It's awesome.
but they need a mindset shift from,
Mm.
I guess, an employee mindset to a business owner's mindset.
Mm.
And as you know, and anyone in business out there listening knows, that if you're in business for yourself, the buck stops with you.
Mm.
Nobody's there going, "Oh, it's all right, Rich, I'll do that for you, mate."
Mm.
You know,
Oh,
no
yeah.
one's there.
Yeah.
So a lot of agents I've found really struggle in that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if we flip that also from growing the business that I've been so passionate about, as as the technology advances so rapidly,
Yeah.
what we're missing is the legislative um, requirements from each state have not kept up with the advances in technology. So when we went to the cloud, a cloud-based agency way back in 2007,
Mm.
the requirements by each state, by the Office of Fair Trading and Services, New South Wales, etc., they did not allow to have remote-based
Mm.
agents working in an agency. So I spent years lobbying the Queensland government
Mm.
to have changes in the legislation to allow for this. I was flying down to South Australia, to Adelaide, each month lobbying changes in the strata laws down there. So I was quite a little bit of an activist
Yeah. Yeah.
to get each state to change. And I guess in a way we're responsible for paving the way for all the cloud-based agencies that have followed mainly in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So we were doing it 10 years earlier, 15 years ago, and they've all come through in the last 5 years, basically copying. They're all creating their own version of what we've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, we paved the way for a lot of that through.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it was difficult because you're talking to guys in an administrative role who do not understand technology. So, like for the Queensland guys, for instance, we actually, I took the tech to them and sat down in a room in Brisbane CBD and went, yeah, this is how it works. And one of the chief guys at the time just sat back in his chair and just shook his head and said, I've never seen anything like it. And I went, well, get used to it, because there's going to be a lot more of this. I said, this is where it's all heading.
Yeah.
And I gave them the heads up. I gave them the heads up 15 years ago. I said, this is where everyone's going. And it's going to get like more advanced.
Yeah.
And it does. So
oh, that's awesome, because it kind of goes straight to the next question, which is pretty much you've answered it. Like, the key trends or shifts. Have you noticed in the industry over the years? Have you seen anything else? Obviously, tech has evolved. Has anything else changed in the industry except for obviously prices of houses and interest rates and all that kind of stuff climbing up?
The interest rate cycle, everything in property works in cycles. So, you go through the cycle of boom bust cycles. You always get the doom, the media, the newspaper outlets, anything that's hypes up readership, they'll be spruiking a whole lot of doom and gloom, and the property's heading for a bust of 50% crack. It's never happened in 25 years. The greatest collapse or contraction in property prices was in 2009 in the GFC, and the worst that happened in Queensland was in the blue chip areas of inner city Brisbane, in the valley and around Bulimba and that. The worst percentage was 11.9%, and they were spreading 40, 50%. contraction on prices. It never happened, and it never will.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
guys just do that. But yeah, information overload for buyers is one problem that we see today. Websites out there, property websites that are saying, jump on, check what this property is worth,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. Now, where they're pulling the data from can be old data. It can be 3, 4, 5 years old. It could be skewed data. It doesn't understand what the nature of the property is. And we get a lot of people at open homes who are all of a sudden magical property experts telling us what the property is worth, and they don't understand the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a big problem at the moment.
Yeah.
Every real estate agent out there would see it. However,
there's
you've
so
got
many
the
mixed things coming out of the media and all that stuff all the time, and through all the different social platforms.
I think it's a big problem for everyone in business. They see that there's information overload, saturation online, and if somebody's buying a car, or if someone's buying a stereo or a surround sound for the house, they're the biggest experts by the time they go into JB Hi-Fi or Hardly Normal or wherever you go.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of the day, the price is the price. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. It doesn't matter if you think, it doesn't matter how much self-imposed expertise you think you got.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I
awesome.
think, it's a bit of a reckoner in the property game.
Yeah, yeah. So look, going back, because all this involves you being an entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, what advice would you give to individuals who just want to start out in business? Is there anything you would give someone special advice at starting up? And doesn't have to be real estate, it could be anything, Yeah,
just lots of people have really good ideas, and there's a big difference between somebody that sits there with a great idea and somebody who becomes an entrepreneur. And the main difference is the entrepreneur will act on that idea. They will find a way of bringing that idea to life, bringing it to the market.
Yeah.
Now, I've got some friends. I've got one friend in particular who's got some very good ideas, but he's a public servant. And I'm not joking. For 10 years, I've heard nothing but great ideas, and not one of them came to life.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't have the time to put in on his business idea.
Yeah.
But he's had some winners, and and timing is all of the essence in ideas.
Yeah.
So you can have a great idea about something that suits the market right now, but if you wait until so-called the time is right, the timing in the market, you miss the sweet spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you've got a good idea and you double check it and you bounce it off a few people that are in business, don't bounce it off people who have never done business, because they're all the naysayers.
And you always want to talk to people that are doing better than you, so you can learn from them, And the next question was you obviously got to be doing a lot of networking and building relationships with, and building connections, isn't it? Because you're a big connector of people. You're a people person.
Well, I think we have to be. I mean, Rich, you and I have spoken about this. We've gone and had our meals and sat down and we talk pretty frank between you and me, and that when you're in work mode, when you're in business mode, you're, like you say, you're connecting, you're helping, you're finding, understanding people's why are they in business, why do they want to buy property, why. But at the end of the day, when I'm out of work mode, I'm telling you, I don't want to talk. I don't want to see anyone.
Yeah.
I sit here and I have, I've got my old, vinyl record collection that I retreat to my man cave, and I don't want to see anyone. But so I think I'm an introvert. Yeah. Until I get into work mode.
Yeah. And that's it. I think most extroverts that you see are really introvert. I'm the same with me. I'm always, you just want to chill out and and don't have anyone around you, and have some quiet time. But
we talk about our little happy place, and that's driving my old 76 Merc down the motorway on my own at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. Windows down, fresh air. Yeah. And just enjoying that nice little hum of the motor and a
Yeah.
bit of peace and serenity.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling of I find that my happy place.
A
It's
bit of
fun.
Luther, a bit of Luther Vandross in the background and the music. Okay. Awesome. So you really you're kind of segued to the next bit. So I was going to say what do you do when you're not working or not thinking about other ideas? So obviously driving the 76 Merc around the place, and what else do you love doing? I know you
Well,
love riding as well.
yeah, I've had a bit of time off my fitness. I used to get quite obsessed with my with training, with my triathlons
Yeah.
and with my boxing, but I've had a bit of time away from the sport because I've had a few health concerns. But which just means you focus your energy and your interest back into, like I say, into my music, or restoring a car, or
Yeah.
doing a custom build on a motorbike,
Yeah.
on a chopper or whatever.
Yeah.
And Rich, I just finished that little convertible
I
Beamer.
know. Awesome E30 convertible, which is super cool, guys. Yeah. And it's
It's
red, so it's a lot faster as well.
it, and it's come up well, and it's fun to
Mate, it
drive.
looks awesome. Super cool.
So we got the BMW club meeting tomorrow night, which
Yeah.
is going to be great. So
Yeah.
that's its first. That'll be its
First
first
run.
official thing,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
It's going to meet some of
I'll
its cousins out there, which is pretty cool.
yeah. But the problem. You know what it's like, Rich. You take one of these cars, which, and it was a budget build.
Yeah.
It was done. When I say on the cheap, we didn't go crazy on anything. But you take it to the BMW club, and you got all the aficionados there,
Mm.
and they're going to tell me, they'll give me a list
Oh,
2 mile
mate.
long
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
everything that's wrong in the car.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Mate, they're waiting. They're waiting to tell you.
But
They're like, can't wait to hammer other people the book
look,
it.
but at the end of the day, I know what it is to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
and I know the amount of fun I have with it. So I'm. It's not really going to worry me too much.
Mate, as
And
long as
if
it puts a
somebody
smile on
says,
your face, that's the main
yeah,
thing, man.
and I say that, and this was an old adage that we used to say. So I used to go for a surf every morning, and there was some, really good surfers and everything out there. But I'd say to me, mate, who's the best surfer out there today? And he goes, the one with the biggest smile.
Yeah, yeah. No, awesome. Now, leading on to that, so do you have any like goals or aspirations in the future, or personally or professionally, that you got planned you want to share
Yeah,
with us?
look, we've got a couple of things on the horizon.
Mm.
I'm pretty focused in the property sector on multi-dwelling properties at the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah,
because there is a big housing crisis, and has been a few changes to some of the town plans
hmm,
of the different councils in the southeast Queensland, where I live in
yeah,
southeast Queensland in Australia. Um, so there's opportunity there to not only help solve the housing crisis, but it's also an opportunity to create cash flow positive property, effectively, that pays for itself and fits a certain criteria, I guess, for future development
yeah,
sites. So
awesome. Yeah,
that's something that I've been working on all of last year
yeah,
to build that model, that investment model for
yeah,
myself.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic. That sounds
And
cool. And then Monty, moving on to the next one, is there any legacy you'd love to leave behind through your work, or
you know,
no?
in all seriousness, all I think is, if the agents that join Easy Agent have created um, gen, uh, genuine wealth for themselves through
Yeah.
smart financial decisions.
Hmm.
My wife's an accountant, and we do have um, a financial investment strategy for them that they can apply themselves.
Hmm.
I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't actually say this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what you
yeah,
should do. But what they can do is look and learn. They
yeah,
can actually, all I say to them is, this is what I do, and this is the reasons why. And if you want to do the same, you can, and this is what you need to do.
yeah.
That's it.
Fantastic.
If they can set up themselves, their families, and their kids
Yeah,
by following a similar blueprint to what Alison and I do,
yeah,
then at least I've helped one
Oh,
family.
100%. You've helped a lot of people. A lot to help them. You'll help their kids. You've helped, the whole clan. So, oh, that's
When
fantastic.
I think when I go, when they put me in a box one day, I'd like to think that I've left both of our kids something to fall back on, property-wise, investment-wise, asset-wise.
Mm,
More than that, knowledge-wise. And this
mm,
is both of the kids have learnt quite a bit through our discussions at dinner over the table, where Alison's not afraid to talk about money,
mm,
and a lot of families don't talk about money,
mm,
and it's something that's missing in
mm.
our society, in our culture.
Yeah,
And we
100%.
and so when the kids came from school and we talk about their day and everything in between, and money was part of that conversation.
Mm,
How to treat money and what it means about getting a loan or getting a credit card and how that impacts your life. I mean,
yeah.
kids today just have no idea.
No idea, man. Especially like with apps and all this stuff they see online, so easy to purchase. Like to literally get something taken out of your account, it's just a matter of a couple of clicks and it's gone, just like in a jiffy compared to back in the day, you know.
And this is why you see so many 25, 26, 27-year-olds today
Mm,
filing bankruptcy,
mm,
because they have dug themselves a hole through poor financial management
yeah.
and poor financial understanding. And they've got themselves in such a predicament. Their only exit strategy is file bankruptcy.
Mm, yeah.
And it's sad.
It's
It
sad.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't need to be that way.
Yeah.
So if I can stop that happening, and I don't mean stop it by just going to the kids, hey, have this, have that, whatever. It's nothing to do with giving, giving,
Yeah.
giving.
It's not about giving. Yeah.
It's
Educating.
educating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
100%. And I wish I had that when I was younger. We all wish, like, even like,
Right.
we both, when we both left school, like what we want to do and what we do now are completely two different things. I always tell people, if you want to think about what you want to do, wait till you're 35. Then you'll know what you want to do with your life. Not when you're 18 or 19, because you're kind of doing something you really hate because you got no choice, but you started something you really don't want to do, and people are so scared.
Let me tell you something funny, and this is something out there for all the business owners, because don't think everyone understands what you do. You're going to
Mm,
have friends in your circle, you're going to have friends in the wider circle that just go, oh, you do what? What do you do again? And they
yeah,
don't get it. And I'll
yeah,
tell you why, with my business since I was 18, so
yeah,
I've been in business a fair while, he still says to me, when are you going to get a real job?
yeah.
Like, he doesn't get it.
It's crazy.
And I just got to let those kind of comments go and
Mate,
not
my
get to
mum
me.
tells me that every day. Mum tells me that all the time. What are you talking about? Rich, get a real job, get a wage. So,
You know what? And here's the funny thing for entrepreneurial people who have fully accepted the mindset that we have.
mm,
I could never go back to working for someone.
yeah, yeah,
They would sack me within the first 3 minutes.
yeah, yeah,
I'm telling you, I wouldn't. I could not. I wouldn't last half an hour with someone.
yeah.
And yeah, it's just the way we are, mate.
No, it's awesome, mate.
So,
Well, you know what? I really
well,
appreciate you coming on board. I've gone through my list of questions and probably more for everyone to probably get some good ideas and hopefully get some advice from what you've said, which has been awesome.
everyone's journey is different. So
Yeah,
even though I've had a few wins along the way, and I've had a lot of failures,
yeah,
but honestly, the only thing I'd say is follow your gut feel and
mm,
act on it.
yeah.
Don't sit back and wait for it to happen. It'll never happen.
It'll never
You
happen,
actually, you've got to
mate.
go and chase it.
Yeah,
And the
100%.
biggest, scariest thing you can ever do is leave your paid employment to go it alone. I've
Yeah,
got no guarantees of income tomorrow.
yeah,
I've got no sureties. There's very little guarantees in this world. But you know
that's
what?
it.
Here am I 35 years later, and I'm still going okay.
Yeah, mate, life's a hustle. You got to be a hustler. You just got to keep on moving, keep that money wheel moving.
It is.
And that's really important. Well, thanks so much, Monty, for coming on board, mate. I really
Rich.
appreciate it. And hopefully we might do another part two into some other topics. So,
Oh, mate, I love talking to you, mate, and I love what you're doing down there.
yeah, thanks,
And
man.
sooner than later, we're going to get our little cars together and we'll go for that cruise that we were
Oh,
always talking
100%.
about.
Definitely. Awesome. You're a legend, mate. And
Same, dude.
yeah, let's chat soon. And I really appreciate your time. All right.
Thanks for having me on, mate. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
my friend. You take
Keep
care.
up the good work.
And yeah, thank you. All right. See you, mate.
See you, mate.